Look, you stupid ass niggas. Y'all want to get a hairline like this? Go fuck with my nigga Matt, bro. Cuss by
I
Matt,
can't
bro.
even
On my
see
mama.
myself.
You hella black, brother.
Doing my boy, man. Vlogging out here, man.
Yes, sir.
Live and direct.
Pick it out.
That shit. Wow. Wait.
What's up with YouTube? Got this highly requested haircut tutorial. My boy Bandz. This is the Bandz haircut tutorial. Highball tapers on the sides and back. Start off this cut. We're gonna take down the top just a little bit. He pretty much just wants a little off the top, quick shape up, and then I'm gonna be using the twist sponge to get his hair nice and curly again. Right here, I'm just picking out his hair. When you're dealing with coarse hair, very curly hair, before you shape up or take any hair down, I recommend that you get a pick and pick out all the hair out of its curly form, and this will give you the best result when you're trying to cut off or shape up hair, because you're picking out all the hair that's needed to be cut, and it'll make it more easier for you. Majority of my videos, you'll be seeing me using the cordless wall senior. Right here, I'm just shaping up the hair or taking it down. And I'm keeping the blade flat, but at an angle when I am going around the afro. So the afro naturally goes in like an oval shape kinda. So right here, I'm just taking some weight off the sides and the back, and then I try to shape it up with the top and make it nice and even. He doesn't want like a high top or none, so he just wants it to where there's not enough weight on the side, so that way his tapers pop out. And same thing with the back. I'm not trying to shape it up super perfect, but I just want to maintain shape and remove any weight necessary, and making sure that I get a good amount off the sides and back, so that way it blends in right into the taper. Also his front as well, he wants his hairline to pop out, so I kind of shape up the front just a little bit, so that way it's more easier for the hairline to pop and there's no overhang. I'm keeping the blade very flat when I'm dealing with the top. Like I said, I'm not trying to take too much weight off, but it's almost like you're pretty much cutting dead ends. And when you're shaping up hair, you want to look in the mirror in front of you. It's good to have a mirror in front of you, so that way you can see like what you're doing. Looking at your client's head through the mirror during the shape up is very important. It'll show if it's even or not.
Roll bounce. I don't ever see my shit look like this. Nah, yes, it's always been
Me personally, I like to twist the hair right after I shape it up, or style the hair right after I cut it down. It just makes it more easier for me while I'm actually tapering and fading. Before I start the high tapers, the sides and back was a little bulky, so I'm combing down all the hair for an even cut. I wanted to clarify this before there's any confusion. For the neck tapers, I created all my guidelines before I started blending. And then for my side tapers, I would create each guideline and then I will remove it right after I created it. Overall, it's the exact same steps. It's just that for the neck taper, I waited till I created all my guidelines to start blending. I'm showing two ways on how to use my fading techniques, because since there's so many guards I'm using on this specific fading technique, you could possibly get lost in the guideline process. So if you prefer to create your guidelines, then remove the lines and blend, then all means go ahead and do that. But if you are paying attention, then you could just create your guidelines and remove them as you go. But it all depends on preference and, you know, whatever is comfortable for you. And just to keep everything organized, if you are using this tutorial, I put all the steps and typed it in, so that way you guys could stay organized and you guys won't get lost. When it comes to this fading process, the clippers I'm using is the Oster Fast Feed and the Wall Magic Clip. And with my magnetic guards, I'm creating 1/2 inch of a guideline with the lever closed and then open. And then I'm using the previous step to remove the guideline. For example, right here, I got my 0 closed, and then to remove that guideline, I take off the guard and I have my lever all the way open to remove the guideline. And pretty much it just levels right after the 0 guard closed. Got my 0 guard lever all the way open. Then I'm gonna continue to the 1, and I'm gonna keep doing this until I get to my wall 1.5. The wall 1.5 guard is the biggest guard I'll be using on his haircut. I'm gonna create a guideline about 1 inch, and then I'm gonna close the lever and try to remove the guideline with the wall 1.5, and then slap on my 1 guard all the way open and remove the guideline as best as possible. This is a high taper with no hooks, so I'm more free to use more of my blade compared to a low/mid taper. I'm usually just using my corners so that way I could stay within the area I need to blend at. But with the high taper, it's pretty much like a half of a fade. I still use the corners of the blade to remove guidelines and detail. Right here I got my wall magic clips slapped on my 1/2 guard or the 0 guard. It's a lot more thinner, a lot more smaller than the magnetic guard, so it cuts a lot more. And like I mentioned earlier, for the back, I created my guidelines first, and now right here I'm just showing y'all how I blend downwards. Like I said, just starting from the very top, working my way down, and just remembering my steps. For his line, there's a separation from long to short hair on the frontal area. So with my number 2 guard closed, I'm just laying down the hair and kind of thinning it out just a little bit so it's easier for me to line up. Then I got my Gold FX trimmer, working my way from the middle to the right. With Kai's hair, his hairline actually, it's a little tricky because it is curly. So you want to make sure that depending on your client, you comb down the hair as best as possible. And I'm just dabbing when I'm lining him up. I'm not trying to drag or push too hard. When you dab against the line, it actually attacks more hair more efficiently. Kai's line is naturally sharp even without the enhancements. We just use it for a finished look, and it looks a lot more dope when he's taking photos. So my goal right now is just to make sure that the line is sharp even before the enhancements are used. And then once I'm done lining, I like to go back with the clippers and lighten up anything that I may have seen. For my enhancements, I have an air compressor. And for the hair dye, I'm using Kiss Express K98 black. And I'm just spraying on the dark areas of his line. And yeah, it makes his hairline pop more and for a more sharper look. Like I said, we didn't really need it, but it makes the hairline pop just a little more, and I don't want to overdo it by spraying too much. Right now, I'm just detailing the line again. I like to take my time with the line, and it's coming out real nice. For the neckline, I like to keep it nice and natural. Start off at the C-cup behind the ear, then work my way down, making a nice straight line, using the edges of my blade to create the shape that I want. And to finish everything off, I got my razor. I'm stretching the skin. I'm gliding the razor against the line as safely as possible, cutting all the stubbles and sharpening the line as best as possible. Just want to give a shout out to my boy Kai. He was hella loaded during this cut for real, but I appreciate you sitting down and let me do my thing. I've been cutting bro now for like 2 years. He's always been showing love. Gotta show love back. You can follow him on Instagram at BenPayKai and on YouTube Kai Bandz. He's doing numbers, so tap in with him. He got a mixtape out. Go check it out. This part right here is optional, but I like to razor the neckline as well. Just stretching out the skin and being very careful as possible.
That's what I be on. I'm a human, I'm not perfect. I know sometimes I be wrong.
But yeah, y'all, this is the end of this tutorial. This is that highly requested Kai Bandz cut. Got more tutorials on the way. Comment down which artist y'all want to see me cut next. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
Wow. Wait.
Can I get back?
Nigga. Nigga, y'all got it, nigga. The Kai Bandz haircut, nigga. You bored me, nigga. Come on, man. I ain't gonna put a hat on, nigga. Too fresh for the hat, nigga. Yeah. See it, nigga. On my mama, nigga. You better get right with my nigga Matt, nigga. My nigga the truth out here, nigga. Yes, sir. Go to spray, nigga. Stop playing with my nigga.